The truth about the RELL killers. We will be talking about all the recent One Piece games to release and figuring out if they deserve the title RELL killer. Without further ado, don't forget to like, subscribe, unless you're straight into this video. Fruit Warriors. Now, you know we couldn't do this video without mentioning the most infamous RELL killer right here, the YouTuber Axior's game. If you don't know the situation by now, here's a summary. Basically, Axior tweeted out and said no thank you to RELL and then dropped his own fresh cash grab onto the platform. With Axior being such a huge YouTuber, the game instantly gained attention from his NPC Blockstreet's audience, so they played anyway. It was your standard cut and dry island to island One Piece game, and it took so many things from games like a One Piece game, like the stat system. It was just ripped straight from that game. I know the boss was just ready to sue Axior if his game even got close to a One Piece game's player count. Not to mention the obvious attempt to replicate Blockstreet's, but he forgot to actually add the combat system and the amount of content that game had. So he ripped his fans off by plugging the game with as many game passes as possible, and then after update 2, he stopped updating the game, basically scamming all of his fans. He now doesn't even upload anymore on YouTube, as he is probably in Cancun right now sipping wine with Boyu, the biggest known con artist in the community. He just can't keep his mouth closed and simply release a game. No, he had to go after the RELL brothers. Axior gave us YouTubers a bad look too in this situation and really made us look really stupid to the entire Roblox dev community. He used his platform to release something to his audience of 1 million people to farm them for his vacation from YouTube. Truly sad, and is probably the worst example of a RELL killer. Pirates Destiny. The most recent game to don the name RELL killer was Pirates Destiny, basically a simple copy of GPO, and it is the most mid game I've played all year. It's nothing special, just something to grind. It released after the success that was Haste Beast, which I don't even know how that game even succeeded, but hey, that's besides the point. The devs simply released this game just to make money, and if you ever wonder why so many One Piece games are releasing around the same time, that's because of the fear that RELL is just around the corner waiting to steal from their cash grab. So many devs are just dropping their games just to drop them because the platform is currently the driest it's ever been, and it's the safest to drop a One Piece game now rather than waiting on RELL to drop. But back to the game itself. The game released to around 2 to 5k players, and shortly after release it died very quickly. The main reason is probably because of the serious game-breaking bugs with the game. You could literally be sailing to an island and be teleported back to the island you were just at. But even worse, you would sometimes teleport underneath the map, causing you to have to reset. Not to mention the structure of the gameplay loop literally didn't match the number of players. Or when you're doing a boss, only the person to get the last hit is the only person who gets credit for that quest. A lot of people just ended up quitting on the first island due to this major oversight. The game also made it seem like it was trying something new by making the quest layout slightly different, but you are literally doing the same loop of quests we've been used to for 4 years now in Roblox. The game literally wasn't even able to receive an update and is now closed down. YouTuber Dizzle really had about 70,000 people fooled with this video on this game, with many people actually thinking the game would be good on release, because that's how gullible the Roblox community is, I guess. Instead of playing something like this, you might as well have just grinded GPO for the 10th time over. Demon Piece. A few months ago, the developers of this game came out with a satire video basically naming their game the RELL killer, and a development video that has since been privated for obvious reasons, calling their game the pinnacle of Roblox. They said word for word that their game would have better PvP than Blockstreet's. Honestly, isn't that hard of a feat, and better visuals of GPO. Not sure what gas this guy was smoking before making this video, but please pass me some of that, because what was this guy yapping about? The game looks worse than Fruit Warriors, and that's saying something. Maybe one thing I can give them is the fact that the visual effects look better than Blockstreet's before the revamp it had. Them saying that it would be better than GPO and Blockstreet's, and then saying it would be better than RELL based off of that makes no sense at all. Basically killing their game's public view before the game was even released for some clout off the RELL brothers name. Truly remarkable levels of stupidity. Now the game is receiving showcase from YouTubers like Killick and OG Vex, of course. Not sure how much money Demon Piece is paying them to kill their channels with such bad content, but it has to be a lot. OG Vex is recorded here saying that the game feels really nice, and guess what? In the video, he's literally playing for 15 minutes while being boosted in the process, then goes on to say that I think Blockstreet has some competition. Not sure when this game will release, but please don't support this game, and please just go play Blockstreet's Golden Piece Adventure. Now this game I truly feel bad for, not gonna lie, because I actually feel like this game is the only game on this list that actually deserved to have some hype. But since it had good models, it was put in controversy with people saying that they stole RELL's assets, which simply wasn't true. Now a lot of devs simply can't make their One Piece game look too good, or it will result in people saying RELL's copy. The game is said to have a story-based progression, which will probably be one of the first One Piece games to go in this direction, and if done right, it could be really cool. The game also has super unique fruits like the Q fruit, which will allow you to use your environment to fight. Even the other fruits look really good, like the Mara or Pika fruit. You can also customize your ship in this game, like in Arcane Odyssey, and I really don't want to see more devs get discouraged when their game gets called a copy, since it is literally just a One Piece game with decent looking models. This is the only game on this list that I genuinely think looks good, and it just got a bad name because of the community. Hockey Quest. One of the newest RELL Seas killers is this game right here.
What
Hockey
is that?
Quest. Q Motion, the developer for this game, has been paying people to promote his game on TikTok for around $100.
This game, Boxing's killer. Stop playing. And RELL Seas. Get up out of here.
This game called Hockey Quest is the RELL Seas killer.
Yeah, Hockey Quest is going to take over the platform, so stay tuned.
Obviously, this is a troll game, but it's still funny that people continuously use the RELL Seas name to gain popularity and hype, even when a game looks as bad as this. Haze Piece. Now, this game was never actually called the RELL Seas Killer, but I just wanted to talk about this piece of garbage finally in a video. Haze Piece is the only One Piece game to have been released this year that actually got a ton of players in release at around 15k, and then it just kept going higher. I'm not sure if kids are just dumb. By the way, this game was just a re-release of the horrifyingly bad Project New World, which released last year. I did a video on that game a year ago, and this game is basically the same exact game, just with better effects, and people still ate it up. Games like this is why the Roblox community is in such a constant uphill battle, because if games like this keep being popularized, devs will keep making them over and over until they just stop working one day. One of the worst controversies with this game is when they try to take down my good friend SwiftDFG's channel because he made an honest review on the game calling it bad, which guess what, he was completely in the right to do so because the game was genuinely bad. I mean, off spawn you could literally buy a $40 game pass that literally gives you gear for off spawn. If you couldn't tell already, I'm getting increasingly more frustrated with games like this getting popular over games that actually deserve it. Just play Block Streets over this if you haven't already, or better yet, go play King's Legacy or something if you really want to grind your brain to mush. Stop supporting these games. I don't know how many times I have to say it. They will keep re-releasing this game and stop updating this one, and you will keep falling for it for some odd reason. One final message. The RELL brothers themselves have stated on Twitter that they are not fond of both YouTubers and developers using their game to boost their popularity and profit by saying a game is better than theirs, even when it's completely obvious that they are not. I'm sure they hardly care about it, but still, in their shoes, they probably just hate these games just as much as we do and are making RELL Seas in order to stop most of these games from taking up space on the platform. But as I say in every video, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.